In this video, it's all about taking advantage of free or very inexpensive camping, whether you're in an RV or a tent.
Only camp on public land.
Go to your Forest Service and check with the forest rangers. There's a couple websites that you can use as well. We'll put some links below.
There are apps as well. Some pretty nifty apps for free camping.
Make sure you're in designated areas. Do not open a new campsite.
Points about respecting the environment. Otherwise, if you don't stay within the confines of an established campsite, then year after year, users eventually expand the boundaries of a campsite until the site creeps farther and affects a larger space than necessary.
Hey you guys! Thanks for joining us on another journey. Today we're tent camping, and we're going to teach you everything you need to know about free tent camping. If you're new to the channel, this is April.
Hi.
And I'm Wayne. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the journey. Or national park land, sometimes you're not allowed to use charcoal grills.
You are going to be so frustrated. I am having like an allergy attack, so I apologize for all my sniffling and rubbing my nose, etc., etc.
Some things to consider when you're choosing your free campsite.
What are the road conditions like? A lot of times these places are on dirt, gravel roads, and you don't want to be caught with your pants down. Meaning, Wayne shouldn't drive his Kia Optima on some precarious dirt roads.
She thinks
you really should have four-wheel drive.
She thinks she's a four-wheel drive Jeep Wrangler with what? No, not just like a little one. We're talking rock crawler. I put this car through some stuff. Anybody that's ridden with me knows.
And all those rental cars, man.
Okay, I do way worse to the rental cars. Don't buy a rental car.
Roads could just be washed away in an instant, or you may need to truly have 4x4, all joking aside.
For you guys that are going out to true BLM land that you cannot access with a regular car, you know the routine. Have some tire seal, have a spare tire, extra gasoline, obviously a air compressor, because you're going to need to bag those tires down. A lot of the roads that you can go BLM camping are perfectly fine to take a vehicle. Just a regular, everyday vehicle, not high rise. Obviously, you're better if you do have a four-wheel drive. You can get in some cooler spots, especially out west.
Oh yeah. Let's talk about firewood.
I know you're going to be tempted to bring firewood from home. Whether you come out west and you stay in a regular campground, or you stay on BLM land or in a national park, do not bring firewood. It has bugs from your region. There might not be any species out here to kill those bugs, and we lose whole forests. Buy firewood local, please.
Or gather it locally, like we will do in a little bit here.
You're allowed to gather the firewood that's on the ground. You're not allowed to trim, cut, rip down the plant. Please do not do that.
Even if it's standing upright but looks dead, you are still not supposed to pick it off or cut it off.
Yeah, it needs to be laying on the ground.
Rip it off.
Just think about it this way. In average, each one of our national parks, several million people come a year. If everybody did that, then they would be just completely destroyed. I saw an article the other day that it was a 6-hour wait to get into Arches National Park. Worse than Disneyland!
Too much of a human footprint on the environment. We recommend bringing a portable hot tea.
When we're out on BLM land and there's no restrooms around, and I don't really want to bury the feces, first thing I do is I make a homemade toilet. Pretty easy. 5-gallon bucket, got a noodle that we got at Walmart for a couple bucks. You just cut it down the middle, and now you have a seat cover for your homemade latrine. You can always buy the portalettes, portable ones. These work just as good and doesn't cost you but $6 to make one.
You can technically dig a latrine and bury it,
and that needs to be a 6-inch deep hole.
However, we recommend not doing this and bringing a portable potty, because more and more people are taking their dump in nature, and it is actually leaving toxins and whatnot and doing damage to the environment.
Yeah, because of the amount of people that are on the public lands. Some years back, before the internet, it wasn't a big deal. But because the popularity of our national parks now, it is becoming a big deal. And out west, we have tons of land, but our land does not recover fast out here. I mean, some of our lands take hundreds of years just to grow a plant because of the lack of rain and the water.
Make sure to leave no trace.
Especially your garbage.
Respect.
Plastic especially is very bad for the animals. Unfortunately, animals aren't very intelligent creatures, and they'll eat the plastic and it doesn't dissolve in their stomachs.
Pack it in, pack it out. We have said this many times. Any waste you produce.
Oh, and RVers, your gray tank, keep it closed. You have 75 gallons that you can hold of water. Hold the 75 gallons. You do not need to put your soapy water out into the desert.
In some of the more remote areas.
Definitely tell a friend where you're at.
And stay away from danger.
Stay away from danger?
Yes.
Well, that means you'd have to stay away from me.
That's what this pointer that I wrote says. Stay away from Wayne Berg. Are you implying that you're my friend?
Some days.
Also be respectful to other visitors in the area and wildlife. Another important thing to consider is, are you okay without amenities? Especially for, no, I'm not going to sexify it. I was going to say for us ladies, maybe more than the men, but I'm sure there's plenty of men out there that don't want to be without their showers or toilets. We have a classic example here of Mr. Wayne Berg, who freaks out if he can't have a shower every day.
I can go 2 or 3 days.
Oh, when's the last time you did that?
It's been a long time. I try not to. 1 or 2 days of tent camping, I'm good. Give me my RV.
Right. Our own bed. Our flushing toilet into hard plumbing.
Oh yeah, and a hot shower.
Air conditioning these days.
Oh yeah. Sidetrack.
We sound like we're not made for this tent camping thing, but it's important to just be serious and ask yourself, am I okay without all these things? Without cell phone service, without electricity, without air conditioning, etc., etc.
Get rid of your TV when you're out camping in the wilderness.
Oh yeah, my God. I mean, I guess it's different for some of those long timers that we walk around and see in the campground.
Hey, if you're a full-timer, that's a different story, but if you're on a weekend adventure with your family, take their cell phones from them.
Play games.
Like real games.
Stargaze.
Oh yeah, walk in the woods.
Just in general, are you prepared? Do you have a plan? Especially if you're going into more backcountry areas.
Yeah, if you're hiking in, you better be prepared. Lots of water, food,
map,
definitely a compass.
Letting someone know where you're at.
Where you're supposed to be at, because it's easy to get lost.
Yes, Wayne would know. See card above. The idea might get romanticized in your brain at first, but it's important to truly consider, are you okay without some of these things?
Oh, I get what they did.
Hey.
They cut the freaking, all they did was cut the tenderloins off and then sell you the half breast, but still charge you just as much.
They didn't charge us just as much.
Feels like it.
No, it does not at all. Boneless, skinless chicken breasts. Ready to...
And we got some pineapple.
Ready to grill.
Habanero. Yeah.
Habanero.
Check out our Yucatan series. Collecting water first off. Do it at the grocery store. Do not drink stream water unless you filter it or boil it. It is dangerous. We are Americans.
We could get very sick.
Very sick. When you're out west, there's plenty of open land out here that is for your use. All you have to do is make sure you're in the designated areas. Some of these areas do require a fee and a permit, which you can typically get at your National Forest Service. Some do require a reservation.
One thing that I like is that if you do find yourself where you are paying a small fee, they put that 100% back into the maintenance of the land that you have just enjoyed.
I'm surprised this thing's cooking so well. Here's the thing. We came in to the national park and we got lucky and got a spot. Since it's first come, first serve, we're taking it. We were gonna go out and do some BLM camping. Hey, this is much easier, especially when you get up in the morning. You can sleep in a little bit longer because you're not having to drive in.
And it's beautiful to be
it's
right
amazing.
here in the park.
And what April likes the best is they have a bathroom.
Yes.
Not with running water.
It's so great. Get this. They have seat covers, disposable toilet seat covers. That's like the best. You never see those in porta potties. Or what are they called? They're called vault toilets.
Vault toilets, and these are spotless.
Yeah.
Like, I'm surprised you don't walk in there going like this and a million flies.
Especially with things changing so quickly, it seems like these days. You want to look up and see what the rules are, with fires, and we're having a drought out here out in the West, and things are constantly changing with the rules regarding fires. For instance, this, since we use charcoal, wasn't allowed in another location we were going to film at, and so hence part of why we are now here, because of their fire restriction levels. But a propane gas stove was allowed, something that you could turn off in an instant.
We didn't have that kind of room in our car. I know the trunk looked empty when I showed it to you, but you know as well as I know, when you go tick camping, you got everything with you.
So check to see the current and up-to-date rules, the kinds of fires you can have, if you can have fires. Everywhere is different, even within the same state, county to county.
Yeah, you need to look up specifically where you're at.
The main thing to remember about fires, if you have the fire ring, the metal fire ring, then that's a safe place to have it.
Well,
even if it's a fire ring made out of rocks, sometimes they'll have restrictions to where you cannot even build a fire in that because fire hazard conditions are so high.
well, and a lot of times how you actually find your spot is there's an actual fire ring already there. So if you don't see a spot that's, you know, been disturbed and has a fire ring, do not camp there.
Okay, let's talk about what to pack. You want to bring food. You want to bring water. Water, water, lots of water. You want to bring clothing for almost any kind of weather. Like
So
I'm about
give
ready
you-
to go grab my hoodie here.
Give you an idea, it was 99 degrees today and it's going to be 43 tonight. That is an extreme. I'm going to freeze my patootie off.
It's a good idea to have a first aid kit. You might want to have a paper map of where you are when you're in an instance like here where there's hardly any cell service.
And that brings me to another point. Walkie-talkies are great because you can communicate with your friends, your family.
Did I catch a niner in there? Were you calling from a walkie-talkie?
No, it was cordless.
When the cell phone service doesn't work.
Because he had to learn the grueling lesson of getting lost on precipice.
In Acadia National Park in Maine, I got lost. And cell phone service did not work.
Nope.
Car to buff.
You may want headlamp, flashlight, lantern, blankets, pillows, sleeping bag, air mattress. Air mattress is a must.
And that's why the car is always completely full.
You may need batteries for said flashlights or headlamps or cameras, and we didn't talk about like utensils and how we keep forgetting paper towels or cutlery.
You just hit a grocery store, but keep in mind that there is not a lot to choose from when you come out west. Most of our national parks are surrounded by very small towns. It's not like back east. Get most of your big stuff before you leave the big city.
Smell that? I can start smelling it. Oh, the chicken. Ooh. I didn't think I was hungry. I literally just had the thought like, oh, I'm good. I don't need to eat anything else tonight. And then I just caught a whiff of that.
Look at that.
Oh, yeah.
That's a tasty looking meal.
That'll make you salivate. Smell-o-vision. We need smell-o-vision.
Always need smell-o-vision. We want to thank you guys for watching our video all the way to the end. If you would, hit that subscribe button, share it with a friend, and like always, thank you
For living life.